なんだこの血の量は。ここで何があった。何もなかった。
Hey my dear pirates, you are on channel Straw Hat's One Piece Theories, and in today's video we're going to talk about all the scars and markings that Zoro has gathered on his body throughout his journey to the current arc that we're following in One Piece. Do you know how many times our dear swordsman has been slashed? What about the scar across his eye? Will we ever get the revelation of why his left eye was scarred? Was it really Mihawk? Well, we're going to analyze all this in today's video, so if you want to be a pirate king like me and achieve eternal glory, go ahead and press the like button with all the power of your devil fruit. And if you're new here my dear sailor, already subscribe to the channel and don't forget to activate the notifications bell so you don't miss any new video. Okay? Then join this crew that will dominate the entire Grand Line and the New World. Now without further ado, let's get to this epic video. And well my dear pirate, because Zoro is a swordsman, unfortunately he is forced to have to fight in a more direct and aggressive way. This ends up causing several scars on his body. But do you remember how each one of them was made? Good. The first was in his brief fight against Buggy, the clown pirate. This happened right at the beginning of the anime. Already the second scar on him was made by Kabaji. The member of Buggy's fleet hit him in the same place as his captain to take advantage of the old wound Zoro had suffered. His next scars were made by the nails of Shiam and Butchie, the Cat brothers of the Black Cat Pirates band. Now talking about one of his most famous scars, we have the marks he won in his fight against Dracula Mihawk. From that battle Zoro received 3 blows to the chest, the last being by his own free will, since according to Zoro himself, a swordsman should never to have your back marked by a sword. Mihawk ends up admiring Zoro for this gesture of honor. Following here guys, we have the 2 scars on his ankles, which by the way were made by him in the battle against Galdino, the wax pirate also known as Mr. 3. His next scars were made by another member of Baroque Works, the powerful blade man Des Bones, also known as Mr. 1. This fight with Zoro was one of the hardest he had in the entire work. Following, and we have the scars made in his battle against Own and Skypiea and against one of the members of CP9, Kaku. One of the most impactful moments that we can never forget was when Zoro received all the damage, pain and fatigue suffered by Luffy against Moria, not to mention the damage Zoro had already received in that fight against Moria and Oz. Right after that we had the time skip where Zoro appeared with a scar on his eye that to this day no one knows how it was done. After all, it's been a long time since the time skip we saw in One Piece, and apparently Zoro's left eye is always closed and scarred around it. And the most curious thing about all this is that none of his crewmates ever mentioned anything about that scar. They didn't even bother to ask Zoro why he was without his eye or the reason for that scar. Because of this, the most varied and crazy theories regarding Zoro's eye have arisen. Many think that something very important must have happened so that he can no longer open his left eye because, as we know, our dear master Eiichiro Oda never put nothing in his work as by chance. Everything has an explanation. In One Piece, every single detail could be very important for the future, even more so when it comes to the main characters of the work, which is the case of Zoro. So quite possibly in the future Oda will explain to us what really happened to Zoro's left eye. But while that doesn't happen, what we have left is just to analyze what the theories say about it. But anyway, some theories suggest that Zoro himself cut his eye purely intentionally. This is all with the aim of mastering some skill, and this new skill that he may be developing would be about his observation haki. After all, the observation haki is a very useful and important skill for characters who use speed and precise attacks during combat, and this applies best when talking about characters who use swords to fight. And notice how this is a very interesting and grounded theory, because it's only for us to remember a little and remember some characters that this theory starts to make sense. After all, we have a beautiful example in One Piece that can confirm this possibility. And of course we are talking about our beloved Fujitora. After we see that Admiral Fujitora himself, despite being blind, he manages to fight normally and in an absurdly incredible way thanks to his great mastery of the haki of observation, because, taking his vision, he improved all the senses, including the haki of observation. This ends up becoming viable for the theory that Zoro did the same to himself to strengthen. That is, in theory Zoro would do what Fujitora did to further improve his haki. Well, that's just one of the possibilities. Another theory that many say, and that is worth mentioning, is that it is possible that this scar on his eye is something simply symbolic, because if we are going to repair it well, Silver's Rayleigh also has a scar identical to Zoro's on his right eye, and what draws attention in all this is that Zoro is to Luffy the same as Rayleigh was to Gall D. Roger. Your right-hand man, your first mate, that is, my dear pirates, Oda, for creating Luffy, who is mirrored in the King of the Pirates Gall D. Roger. it is quite possible that he made this mark on Zoro in a way that was symbolic to be able to look similar to Rayleigh, who he was Roger's first mate, the king of all pirates, and if Luffy will be the next king, then it would be interesting that his first mate had a scar that referred to the former king's first mate, wouldn't it? But for me, the most likely definitive answer regarding Zoro's left eye is that he was injured during training, because, as we saw, he was trained by Dracula Mihawk for 2 years, and due to that training Zoro became very strong, and it is very likely that during this training he was hit by Mihawk. Calm down, I know what you must be thinking right now. Wow, would Mihawk be able to attack his own disciple like that, to the point of leading you blind? That doesn't make much sense. I know that apparently it doesn't make sense, my dear pirate, but as I said, calm down. This theory also answers why Mihawk would do that. Most likely, during this training between the two, Zoro may have put himself to the test, as he has done several times, all this for him to prove that he was really ready, not to beat Mihawk in a direct battle, but to at least survive a worthy fight against him, so this could very well have been Zoro's life gamble. So Mihawk sees Zoro's willingness to attack him had to use his sword Yoru in a more lethal way, demonstrating that he was still not stronger than Mihawk, and this attack created a scar on his disciple, but still forcing him to have to react, being very different from what happened in the first clash between them when Zoro lost easily to Mihawk using only a knife, and when he decided to use Yoru the battle was simply over. But of course, the biggest theory among One Piece fans is that Zoro harbors some sort of special power within his eye. Many believe that the moment he opens his left eye, some immense power will take hold of him, either increasing his haki or being a completely new power. Anyway, continuing, we have Zoro facing Killer Kamatsu, where he received some hits, and we also had a quick clash between Zoro and Bossel Hawkins where he injured him with his nails. After that we had Zoro helping in all the fights in Wano, mainly in his fight against King, which was one of the most awaited fights for us, the fans, where we saw Zoro give his all to the point of getting hurt a lot, as we also had the fights Kaido where Zoro also took some damage. We are currently in the Egghead arc, and there are still many things to happen, many fights will still be fought, and for sure, Zoro will receive more scars. I just wish that someday Zoro would reveal to Luffy about his achievement in receiving all his pain. For me, that was Zoro's greatest moment in One Piece, and those marks will forever remain in my memory. But now I want to know your opinion about everything we commented here today. Do you think there is a special reason for the scar that Zoro carries on his left eye? What was the fight that Zoro was most injured in? And to finish, do you think Zoro will get even more scars by the end of One Piece? But of course, if you made it this far, it's because you like the content, so it doesn't hurt to subscribe to our channel and become one more member of our fleet, my dear sailor. And of course, do not forget to press the like button, that helps a lot in spreading the video and the channel, so help us to become the largest fleet of pirates here on YouTube, okay? A big hug for everyone, and until the next video.